Oliver Lehane, the owner of Oscar Schindler, was rather critical of the preparation of the Flemington track for the Big Melbourne Cup back in November. Well, it's come under fire again, if you read Max Presnell's column in today's paper. Max, for obvious other reasons, though.
Yes, I would say the Flemington track over the Cup Carnival left certain points to be desired, but yesterday it was no less than a bloody disgrace. They had the rail out, doing renovations, I believe, on the inside of the track. Why they didn't close the joint, nobody will know. Perhaps Keith Hillier might be able to tell us.
Well, Keith, you agree, fair criticism from Max?
It is fair criticism, and those words, Max, aren't too strong. In fact, the Flemington track, the 400-metre section of the straight, will be dug up tomorrow. The VRC has asked the VATC for Sandown and Moonee Valley to give them their tracks for 4 meetings. I'm sure those clubs will agree. Racing yesterday was chaotic. It was a blot on our racing. It was hazardous as well. It looked like a polo match with the ball out near the outside rail. That was the fast lane, and nothing typified it more than race 4. Have a look at this scramble here. Complaints from everyone, from jockeys, trainers, punters, and all of them justified. This is race 4 at Flemington yesterday.
Mappingly goes to the lead over Boursier as they head towards the outside. Atomic Comet they're outside, and then came out Tristram. Getting to the outside rail now is Oak Crest, and Miss Daly's just ahead of it. A bit of tightening up there with 350 metres to go. Still Mappingly. Boursier coming again, followed then by over on the other side Shrewd Judges running on pretty well, and after them is Golden Scroll 2. It's coming home. Mappingly, Atomic Comet. Count Venetian switching to the inside. It's still Mappingly in front though. Miss Daly on the other side, but it's Mappingly in the fast lane winning it. Mappingly.
Well, Keith, the punter's not happy, but what about the hoops?
They weren't happy either. It was quite hazardous, and really, David, it was quite ridiculous also when you couldn't get a run on the outside of the track. Jockeys switching course there. There were so many unlucky runners. In fact, in this very race, the riders of the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place getters asked to have a look at the steward's video to consider protest. The rider of the 2nd place getter did protest. That was tossed out, and after the race, Des Gleeson, the chairman of stewards, lectured jockeys. He told them they had to be 2 lengths clear before they took a run. And this is on the outside, mind you, 2 lengths clear before you take a run on the outside of the track. It was a schmozzle.
Keith, you're suitably disgusted, I appreciate that, but last week you were talking about people sending bills, settling for certain aspects of racing in New South Wales. We didn't run Sundays, and you said, who do we send the account to? Who did the punters send the account to for the VRC debacle yesterday? Perhaps Mr. Beattie?
Well, if you dish it out, you've got to take it, Max, and I accept that. 2 different issues, though. The race has provided one winner, of course, under any circumstances, as they do. It was the only game in town at Flemington yesterday. But holdings, punters reacted the other way. They didn't bet. Holdings were down at least 30% with most bookmakers and up to 70% with some.
Well, anyway, we saw the favourite score in the Christmas Day handicap at Flemington. Yeah,
and I think she'll win again too. Her name is Pele Verde. She's lightly raced, only 16 or 17 runs. She's won 6 of them, and she's heading for the Hobart Cup now on the strength of this win. She's potentially a pretty much above standard staying mare.
Here's race 7 yesterday from Flemington.
Kiwi Golf around the outside. Pelos Verdes just in an awkward place coming up towards the turn, and then Rover. Papal Monarch last into the straight. Cockade next to last. Now in the straight. Prime Address the leader heading to the outside. Western Red is coming after it. Pelos Verdes is getting a good run through the field, and she is finishing very gamely, and Brilliant Poet is on the outside rail. Now Pelos Verdes under a tight rein cruised up to Prime Address, and Destrero from Rover, and then Western Red. Brilliant Poet from Nick on the run, but Pelos Verdes takes the upper hand with 100 metres to go, and this is a beautiful ride as Pelos Verdes wins it by 2 lengths Prime Address.
Soft win, and I'm sure that Pelos Verdes will acquit herself well in the Hobart Cup, and then maybe Colin Little, the trainer, will continue that preparation to the Adelaide Cup. Pelos Verdes, unextended, sure to be more wins, and she's ready to step up in class. Soft win it all. Western Red was competitive, but there's Pele Verdes getting the better of Prime Address and going on for a soft win. That was racing at Flemington yesterday. You had the State of Origin Challenge in Sydney, David, and Darren Beedman emerged ill at the end of that day.
Yes, it might be riding at Sandown today, but was it just a bit of theatre there yesterday, Max, or did it add something to the meeting at Rose Hill?
Oh no, David, you're right on both scores. It was theatre. It just it was a bit of Christmas tinsel. State of origin, I think, as many people have pointed out, hardly Shane Dye is hardly born and bred in Sydney. Perhaps an interstate series would have been a better name, but it gave something to Rose Hill. They had a crowd of over 10,000 to see the possibly the best jockeys in Australia going around, and it did add something to the carnival. It did add something to racing, and I believe the STC is going to pursue it in future and make it even bigger than it was yesterday.
Okay, well, Shane Dyer winning treble yesterday at Rose Hill, but it was Mickey Pelling that gave Queensland the early edge in the State of Origin series.
Then Opera Buff, followed by Grooves. Vain Naribo, hard-ridden, losing ground. A gap then to Egotist, followed by Official. Around the turn at the 400 mark, Western Centres well clear. Greg Hall for Victoria. A length or more in front of Bisque again, followed by Kilione, Blue Era. And Opera Buff between horses. Western Cent well clear at the 200 mark, led by 2 lengths or more. Opera Buff's green. Doesn't want to come out. His Official chiming in on the outside. Michael Pelling for Queensland. Suggestive lunging late. Official just in front. Suggestive lunged, and there's nothing in it right on the line. At the head of the others, Mr. Honey, and then Best Habit, followed by Funny Kid, and My Other Princess carted wide on the turn. Straightening up, Cedo, Pegasus and Kid Lat, the 2 leaders. Athenry putting in a dash. Burketown Boy is rounding them up very quickly. Coming to the 200, and Burketown Boy and Athenry have headed Cedo, Pegasus. My Other Princess coming down the outside, but Burketown Boy is clear with 100 to go. My Other Prince getting home late, but Burketown Boy too good and wins well over My Other Prince, who ducked in sharply. Mr. Honey will get third. 3 and 4 deep is Just a Printer, and Babu's Boy is last of all as they turn for home. 400 metres out, Sour Puss and Dizzy Heights are the 2 leaders. They're nicely clear of the heavyweight who ran out and collided with the Glen, followed by A Bit of Magic as they come down to the 200, and Dizzy Heights drew to the lead from Sour Puss. A Bit of Magic is running on gamely. Dizzy Heights and Sour Puss. A Bit of Magic is about to claim them. A Bit of Magic on the outside grabs the lead. Our Shockwave and Babu's Boy from nowhere as they hit the line. Our Shockwave.
Yeah, well, Our Shockwave causing a shockwave at 40 to 1, but Burketown Boy 3 in a row.
Yes, very promising horse, David, and I would just like to say that New South Wales currently lead. It looks like the major racing state will be triumphant again. Major racing state anyway, Keith, as far as tracks are concerned.
Yeah, you're making a fist of it this morning, Max.
Well, talking about tracks, yesterday, Keith, Doomben reopened, and a lot of eyes on Chief De Beers, but it was Rip Home that scored in sensational fashion.
Yes, he had top weight, he had a wide barrier and he missed the start, and I'm sure you'll agree as you watch the replay, it cost him the race.
Metres to go. He's releasing the brakes on the Chief now, and he's gone to the front. It's Chief De Beers taking over at the 200. Got away from Blazing Flight. Leads by almost a length. Sprightly Jet third. Finishing fastest City Slicker on the outside. Rip Home out of the pack is coming at Chief De Beers. Chief De Beers in front. Rip Home grabbed him. Rip Home got up to win it.
How impressed were we with Chief De Beers?
Oh, very much so. As Keith pointed out, Chief De Beers just had too much to do after a tardy start. Resuming after a spell will be better for that run. He's a top-class sprinter. I think he confirmed that yesterday. But the eye-catching point about the race was the state of Doomben. Doomben reopening after renovations. Let's hope that Flemington comes back as well.
Well, it makes us envious to see that track, doesn't it?
Well, Keith, talking about seeing things, could we just lower that camera? This tie is very special. You're really in the Christmas spirit on this final edition of Sports World.
Well, I was going to send you and Max a card, David, but I thought I'd send it and include the viewers with a special tie today.
Well, that's a special. What about you? Have you got any for the punters out there?
No, I've got a special Christmas message to Wayne Harris, who hasn't had the best of luck this year, and I'd like to wish Wayne Harris all the best for 1997. Certainly it's going to be a better year than 1996.
Now, Saintly's brother's in there.
Yeah, Opera Booth, very good run yesterday, making his debut. Needed the run, needed the experience. Palos Verdes, as Keith pointed out, will win in the near future. Babu's Boy flashed home in the last, a 3-year-old against older horses. He's got his foot right on the tilt.
Well, Keith, thanks for your support right through the year. Have a happy Christmas to all the punters down there as well in Victoria.
Thanks, David, and to you and Max, and to all the racing fans, the same.
And you enjoy that holiday in Western Australia, Max?
I certainly shall, and I do hope that Santa Claus doesn't bring his sleigh along the outside fence at Flemington.
Okay. Max President, Keith Hillier, as they've done right through the year on Sports World with a very in-depth look at racing here on Sports World. We'll take a break and be back with more in a moment.
I don't regret it. I don't think that I took any shortcuts. I'm not embarrassed by it. Well, for me, I'm embarrassed that I continue to fight on a little too long, but again, it's experience, and today I can sit down and talk about it.